I am the queen of enjoying every moment, never wanting something good to come to an end, and a late checkout is the embodiment of that. I'm your host, Laura Janella. Guys, I'm just burning some Palo Santo here. That's how we're bringing in this episode this week, is clearing some negative energy around me, clearing negative energy around you guys. We want this space to be cleansed, and Palo Santo does the trick. You know, sometimes you just need that extra little nudge and help from Mr. Palo Santo. So I'm gifting you that. That's my gift to you during this holiday season, is a little energy cleansing before we jump into the holidays, even though when this episode is out, it is officially Christmas. And it has been such a crazy season. What an amazing, challenging, growth pushing, self-discovery. I just so many layers. 2024 had so many layers to it. I can say that for myself. I feel like for a lot of the people around me, they were kind of feeling the same way. It just felt like every month there was something that they were meeting with as a challenge, but also as a moment to develop themselves and to grow. So give yourselves a round of applause. We made it to the holiday season, guys. Like, kudos, standing ovation for everybody. We're here. It is Christmas. We celebrate Christmas here. I definitely am excited to be having a little bit of a low-key holiday. And I say low-key because whenever we spend Christmas in Switzerland and we don't go back to the States, it's really this like perfect opportunity for Brian and I to kind of just stay home on the 24th and 25th and practice recipes that are from our familial backgrounds, cultural backgrounds. My husband's family is Portuguese, my mom is Brazilian, and my dad was American. So we have a big fixation on the 24th. Like, on my Brazilian side was the 24th was everything. That's when we're making the codfish. That's when we're seeing family. We're staying up till midnight, opening up a gift and etc. And then Christmas Day was huge on my dad's side for the overall American experience, the waking up to Santa Claus Christmas presents and, you know, the big breakfast and the big dinner that day. So having divorced parents that celebrated the days on separate days was kind of perfect because it never felt like overly divided. But also with my husband's family, they're huge on the 24th, like his broader family, where, you know, Portuguese people also celebrate Christmas Eve, I think a little harder than Christmas Day. But, you know, he was born and raised in America, and the 25th was also a big day for him, like waking up and doing the presents and all of that. So it's kind of nice when it's just the two of us and we can start blending our traditions, start blending, you know, which recipes from each side do we want to have, because definitely one day I want to be hosting Christmas Eve and having more people over and sharing the experience, but we need this time to practice. So it's kind of nice when it's just us. So if we mess up a recipe, we can just, you know, not tell anybody and brush it under the rug. But we have a nice way of taking some of his, like, you know, like the Portuguese soups and the appetizers and the Brazilian appetizers and Brazilian main course and desserts and stuff that we just kind of go ham on, like the 24th, making and baking, etc. And on the 25th, we just are going to be in our pajamas, having a big old breakfast. This is Leandro's first Christmas in Switzerland. Last year we were in the States, so he's a little bit more, I'll say, like lucid now, right? Like we're trying to tell him like, oh, Santa Claus, etc. And I think we'll be doing like the elf thing on Christmas Eve night, just like wrapping his gifts, putting them under the tree. So he kind of wakes up to this nice little surprise and see how he takes it Christmas morning. And then we will just be chilling and vibing, eating leftovers, watching Christmas movies all day, and just keeping it low key. It's been super gray and snowy here, and I really appreciate it because I feel like I have not experienced like a white Christmas in a very long time, and I'm just here for it. Like, I need it. I'm in the mood for it. Just pregnancy has me wanting to just hibernate, and when the weather is fitting for hibernation, I feel less guilty. I can lean into it more and I feel better about it. So I'm happy for that. And I also just want to make a point to say that even though the holidays do bring up so much joy, so much happiness, and there's a lot of festive, amazing things going on, family that you're seeing, friends that you're seeing, people you're spending time with, gift exchanging. There's that whole genuine joy of it. And there's also this hallmarky side of it that I feel like can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming, especially for those of us who don't necessarily have the bandwidth this year or any year to be showing up to the holidays in that joyful, festive way. Like for me, even though I'm so excited about many parts of Christmas, it's overall a very bittersweet time for me. Losing my dad 2.5, almost 3 years ago makes the holidays tough. There's no easy way to fully enjoy a holiday anymore now that one of my parents is gone. Like, there's always going to be this underlying void, and it's not one you can ever fill, and it's not one that I see myself wanting to necessarily mend, because feeling that void also is a huge way of me remembering the loss that I have, which is such a big loss. And I feel like during this time of year, kind of starting in autumn for me, because autumn was his favorite season of the entire year. Like, he loved fall foliage and all of that. Like, starting in October all the way through the end of the year with some of the holidays, it's like there's just this sense of him being everywhere and all around me, but also absolutely nowhere. He's somebody who would always text happy December 1. Like, each month he would do that. And especially having my birthday this past week, I feel the weight without him. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that sense of loss during the holidays, but also simultaneously feeling the joy of the holidays in its different facets. For those of you who have lost a parent or somebody close, you get it. And I think this time of year, a lot of people get fixated on the joy and the happiness and the hallmarkiness of the holidays. But I think we also need to be very compassionate and understanding of the people around us who may not be feeling that genuine joy and not be feeling like they can show up the way that they feel like they need to be showing up for the holidays. And I am someone who's such a big believer in leaning into whatever emotion it is that is coming up and that you're feeling. Do not put yourself in a position to show face and put face on when you are hurting and still healing. And even if you need a couple moments to walk away from a dinner or from the family, just to have a moment to yourself in a separate room to cry or to just breathe it out, like, do that for yourself. If you need to just cuddle up on your couch and not push yourself to be in these social situations in the holidays, lean into that. There is no reason for anyone to be judging anybody else during this time of year on how they want to spend the holiday season. All of us are going through different things. All of us can definitely give each other a really big moment of understanding. It's a sensitive time. It's a sensitive time of year. And I am somebody who definitely has been learning throughout the last few holidays without my dad how to handle those moments. And I haven't mastered them yet, but I share this to say anyone who is feeling it, just give yourself that grace. Give yourself those moments when you need them, when they're calling to you. And I give you a big compassionate hug right now because I feel you. I understand it. I think the worst thing people can do is not be aware of it and force others to feel awkward or guilty for not just putting on face. It's about to be 2025. There's no room for putting on face. You have to be leaning into your own individual energy. So big virtual hug to everybody who needs that big compassionate hug this week. I'm there for you guys. I totally get it. I also want to say that to this time of year, I really appreciate is that it is the season of giving, all of like the charity and the donations and all of the supportive organizations to really get out there and help the people who lack the resources and lack the ability to fulfill, the Christmas dreams of kids who don't have the privilege of being able to wake up to, a full stacked tree, and even the privilege of having winter coats and whatnot. Like I know there's organizations like Toys for Tots. Here I actually work with a organization called Zarity, which is a local organization here in Zurich that works with like over 50 agencies around the world. And we had a huge drive that lasted like a month and a half. It was like November through December to, collect gently loved items, to be able to give them to people who need them. I think it's important to remember all throughout the year that there are people in need and people suffering, and that people do need our help. But I know how easy it is to forget throughout the year that is an unfortunate truth, that this time of year it is nice to just pay it forward and give back. I want to shout out all the super parents, all the super people who go out here and like shop like crazy to play up Santa Claus, to get the Hanukkah gifts, to any person who's purchasing gifts this season. Like, kudos to you. It is not an easy time of year to be shopping at all. And I know that there are people and parents out there who just go over the top and really play up the spirit of the holidays. And I just feel like they deserve a moment as well, because it is a job, people. It's crazy. Heading towards the new year, I hope all of you, after all this like gift exchanging and partying and void figuring out and all of this whole week of it, heading into the new year, I hope all of you can have a moment to just reflect on the growth and transformations you had in 2024. Take a moment to just look back at your self, January 2024. What were you doing? Where were you? What job were you in? Where were you living? What relationships did you have around you? What friendships did you have around you? And compare it to the version of yourself that is going into 2025. I am sure there were probably highs and lows, and there are moments you can be grateful for. I'm sure there's moments you can say, damn, I can't believe that happened to me. But I think it's really important to just, at one point this week, slow down and give this year the moment and reflection it deserves, because it's a chapter of our lives coming to a close, and looking at it that way makes it that much more real. It makes it feel that much more lived. It makes it feel like it didn't go to waste, because you're giving acknowledgement, you're giving a reflection, you're giving yourself this awareness that you really are entering into a new chapter, 2025. I'm giggling to myself because I'm like, I love the fact that my pod comes out on Wednesdays, but this year it is like holiday back to back. But you know what? That's why I'm keeping this episode short. But I also just want to preface, next week's episode is a flashback episode. And when I say flashback, I mean it is an episode that was recorded back in June. It has not been aired yet. It has not been released, but it's actually the very first pod I ever recorded. It has no video. It was just like, I think a few days after I had just ordered my microphone, and thought to myself, okay, let me see what I sound on the mic. I had just come home from the Euro Cup games, and I was so excited to just put my feet in the water a little bit with this idea of doing a podcast. And when I listened to it back, I remember being so proud and excited and feeling like, okay, having recorded that made me realize I think I can take the next steps into this pool. Like, it was before Late Checkout was even named. It's just a very special episode. It's high energy, but also reflective. And it's got some good stuff, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So stay tuned for that next week. Guys, have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your 2024. Enjoy your holidays. Give yourselves the compassionate time and grace that you need if you need it. And I will see you in 2025. Bye, guys.